Let's discover the extraordinary story of Audrey Hepburn. Some people become famous because of what they accomplish. Others become legendary because of how they make people feel. Audrey Hepburn belongs to the second group. Decades after her final film, her image remains instantly recognizable around the world. A black dress, elegant gloves, a graceful smile, and an effortless sense of style have become symbols of timeless beauty. But here's the thing. If you only remember Audrey Hepburn as a fashion icon or a classic Hollywood actress, you're only seeing one chapter of an extraordinary life. Behind that unforgettable smile was a woman whose greatest achievements often happened far away from movie sets and red carpets. Her story wasn't simply about fame. It was about survival, compassion, resilience, and using an incredible platform to make a genuine difference in the lives of others. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's go back to the beginning. Audrey Hepburn was born in Brussels, Belgium, in 1929. Her childhood looked promising at first, but history had very different plans. As Europe descended into the Second World War, her family found themselves living under the hardships of Nazi occupation in the Netherlands. Food became scarce. Fear became part of everyday life. Like countless other children, Audrey experienced hunger, uncertainty, and the constant reality of war. Those difficult years left a permanent mark on her. Long before the world knew her name, she had already learned lessons about hardship that would shape the rest of her life. She witnessed suffering firsthand, and those memories never truly left her. After the war, Audrey pursued ballet with dreams of becoming a professional dancer. She trained tirelessly, believing that dance would become her future. But while she possessed remarkable discipline and elegance, the years of wartime malnutrition had affected her physical development. She eventually realized that reaching the highest level in ballet would be incredibly difficult. For many people, that might have felt like the end of a dream. For Audrey, it became the beginning of another one. She gradually found opportunities in modeling, theater, and small acting roles. Each appearance helped her gain experience, but nothing suggested that she was about to become one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Then everything changed. In 1953, Audrey starred in Roman Holiday alongside Gregory Peck. Almost overnight, audiences fell in love with her warmth, charm, and natural authenticity. She didn't perform like a traditional movie star. She seemed approachable, genuine, and effortlessly captivating. The role earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress, launching one of the most remarkable careers in cinema history. Winning an Oscar with such an early leading role would have been enough to define many careers. But Audrey Hepburn was only getting started. Over the next decade, she appeared in a string of unforgettable classics including Sabrina, Funny Face, Love in the Afternoon, Charade, My Fair Lady, and of course, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Each performance showcased something different. Sometimes she was playful, sometimes romantic, sometimes quietly determined. No matter the role, she brought a sense of sincerity that audiences immediately connected with. But here's what made Audrey different from many stars of her era. She never relied on dramatic performances or larger-than-life personalities to command attention. Instead, she captivated people through subtle emotion, gentle confidence, and remarkable grace. She proved that strength didn't always have to be loud. Sometimes it could exist in kindness, humility, and quiet determination. At the same time, Audrey became one of the world's greatest fashion icons. Her partnership with designer Hubert de Givenchy transformed both their careers. Together they created some of the most recognizable looks in cinematic history. Even today, countless fashion designers continue drawing inspiration from Audrey's timeless elegance. Yet despite becoming one of the most photographed women in the world, Audrey rarely seemed interested in fame for its own sake. Those who worked alongside her often described her as thoughtful, polite, and surprisingly modest. She treated crew members with the same respect she showed directors and fellow actors, earning admiration throughout the industry. Of course, like anyone, her life wasn't without personal struggles. Balancing an international career with family life proved challenging. She experienced heartbreak, difficult relationships, and the emotional pressures that often accompany worldwide fame. The glamorous photographs shown in magazines never revealed every sacrifice happening behind the scenes. Still, Audrey continued moving forward with remarkable dignity. As the years passed, something else began changing. Instead of focusing entirely on Hollywood, Audrey started thinking more about the world beyond it. The memories of her own childhood during World War II had never disappeared. She remembered what it felt like to go hungry. She remembered depending on humanitarian aid. And she knew there were millions of children experiencing similar hardships. Rather than simply speaking about those issues, she chose to act. In the late 1980s, Audrey became a goodwill ambassador for UNICEF, an organization that provides humanitarian assistance to children around the world. She traveled extensively to countries facing poverty, famine, conflict, and disease. These weren't comfortable publicity tours designed for cameras. She visited communities struggling with unimaginable challenges, meeting families, listening to their stories, and bringing international attention to crises that many people had never heard about. Whether she was visiting Ethiopia, Sudan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, or countries throughout Latin America, Audrey approached every child with genuine compassion. She wasn't there to be admired. She was there to help. Those who accompanied her often spoke about how deeply she connected with the people she met. She understood suffering not as an abstract idea, but as something she herself had experienced as a child. That shared understanding made her advocacy incredibly powerful. Many people believe Audrey Hepburn's humanitarian work became the most meaningful chapter of her life. And perhaps they're right. She once said that helping children wasn't simply a responsibility. It was a way of giving back for the kindness she had received during her own childhood after the war. In many ways, her humanitarian work completed a circle that had begun decades earlier during one of history's darkest periods. Sadly, Audrey Hepburn was diagnosed with a rare form of abdominal cancer in the early 1990s. Despite treatment, her health declined, and she passed away in January 1993 at the age of 63. Her death was mourned across the world. Hollywood remembered one of its greatest actresses. The fashion industry honored one of its most enduring style icons. But perhaps the most heartfelt tributes came from humanitarian organizations and families whose lives had been touched by her compassion. They remembered not the celebrity, but the woman who had chosen to use her fame to serve others. Today, Audrey Hepburn's influence feels just as powerful as ever. Her films continue introducing new audiences to classic cinema. Her fashion continues inspiring designers around the world. Quotes attributed to her are shared across social media every day. More importantly, her humanitarian legacy continues encouraging people to look beyond appearances and remember the importance of empathy, generosity, and kindness. In an age where fame often lasts only a moment, Audrey Hepburn reminds us that true legacy is built differently. It's built through character, through compassion, through the lives we touch when no cameras are watching. Some people become unforgettable because they entertain us, others because they inspire us. Audrey Hepburn somehow managed to do both. And that's why, decades later, she remains far more than a Hollywood legend. She remains a symbol of elegance with purpose, beauty with humility, and success measured not only by applause, but by the good we leave behind. That is the kind of legacy that never goes out of style.